Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we learned about CSS positions, CSS, Z index, and positions, CSS box model, CSS positions, and CSS Z index. These are basic things you learn. And one more important is today we will see CSS display. Already display we learned display flex, display grid. We already learned now. We use display flex, display grid like options and all. So actually display contains options like display none, display block, display inline block. So display have flex and grid. These are the display options we have. So display is having none, block, inline block, flex and grid. Already we saw them actually. Display none, it is hides element in page. So it can display in block style. So which is line by line. Inline block, it sets side by side for side by side in a block style, which allows to change size. Flex, it is flexible to justify content, center, space between, like that, around, etc. Grid, it displays, it sets, it configures rows and columns. These are the options we are having. And the inline also present. It can display side by side. Side by side. So already we used them in different examples. So no need to explain this. Display block, display inline, display flex, grid. Already in the beginning while learning nav bars, so header, footers, we used them. Only one more important you need to know here is display none means it hides the element. It will not show the element. So it will be helpful in future when you want to show and hide elements. You can try this. Here one important question is asked actually. So generally display none will hide an element. Then in interviews they ask one question like, what is difference between display none and visibility hidden? That is the question, because both will hide. Display none will hide and visibility hidden also will hide. Then the question is, what is difference between them? What is the difference and how to handle? So difference between them, actually, I will show here the basic difference. Our project. Yeah. Suppose we are having some content in page. There is an heading, and this is like fashion. Below heading, we have an image. Image source, it is in public images, fashion.jpg. So we have an image here, and you can see the image contains a heading above. Now I want to hide that heading. Temporarily, we want to hide this heading. Now, by using display none, we can write here style display as none. Inline I am writing. When I say display none, it is going to hide the element. But what happens is it hides the element, then its place is occupied by image. That means after hiding the element, the image will shift up. You can see that image position changes now. That means that element is hidden and it will shift up. Sometimes we are showing advertisements and we want users to close advertisements. When user closes advertisement, if all content adjusted, then again disturbance will be there in the screen. So even that place is hidden, other elements should not occupy there. Then what you do is, instead of display none, you can use another option, visibility hidden. Visibility hidden will hide the heading, but that place is kept so without disturbing it. And you can see it is there. Have you seen the difference? So what is difference between display none and visibility hidden? Both are hiding. Then what is difference between them? The difference between them, display none will remove the allocated place, but visibility hidden will keep the space. That means it will hide, but the space allocated for it will be there. So display none is not like that. When you set display as none, automatically it is going to shift up. So you don't want to disturb the placements. You just want to hide an element its place. Then better you go visibility hidden. So what is difference is display none can hide element and shifts other elements and shift other elements in layout. So that is the space allocated for element is removed. And visibility hidden can hide element but keeps the allocated space. That is the difference actually. So visibility hidden. Another important display, flex, grid, inline block, all we learned. What is here? Another question asked is, many times people have this doubt. The doubt is syntax. First, I will give here. You can say display as none, or you can keep so visibility as hidden. Display none or visibility hidden. Now another point, another question is, what is difference between flex and inline? That's another doubt. Usually people have a doubt about flex and inline because flex also side by side, inline also side by side will come. But there is actually difference between them. The difference between them is actually display flex and display inline. The difference is nothing but actually flex is used for container that contains elements. Flex is used for container that contains elements, and it can justify the alignment. It can justify the alignment. That is flex. Flex is used for container that contains elements, and it can justify the alignment. Inline is used for elements, not for container, and it cannot justify the content. It cannot justify the content, or you can say the alignment. It will keep side by side, both will keep side by side, but inline is used for elements, not for container, and justify will work only for flex, not for inline. I will tell you one simple point. I will show you practically here. See, suppose we are having an unordered list. In that we have list item home, and we are having list item some contact. Now suppose I am writing some effect like this. What is the effect we are writing is for unordered list. For unordered list, I am using display as inline. Display as inline I am writing. That means to keep side by side. This is invalid. It will not work. It will not work. Inline is not used for container. It is used only for elements. That means UL is a container. In that container, list items are present. So display inline will not work for container. It will work for only elements. That means if you want to apply inline, you have to keep like this. Li. For that you have to give display as what? Inline. This is valid. This is valid. If you want to give for container, suppose UL, if I write display as flex, is it valid? this is valid. Suppose for list item, I am giving display as flex. So this is invalid. It will not work. It is not going to work. So that means inline is used for elements. Inline is used for elements. And flex is used for container. Flex is used for container. If I give display flex for list item, it will not work because display flex can be given only for containers. So these are very important. I will show practically. I will show this, how they work. Let's see here. I am writing this unordered list item, some home, another list item, some about, like this. Now what we are doing here, some like page shop, and we have some blogs like this we have. I will go here and I will put a style and unordered list display. First I will put style, list style as what? None. And for unordered list, what we are doing here is, for unordered list, we are configuring simply display as inline. I am writing inline, and you can see they are not side by side. They are not side by side because inline cannot be given for unordered list. It's a container. So inline cannot be given for unordered list. So you see, I will remove this. And for list item, I am giving display as what? Inline. Now you can see they will be side by side. For list item, if I use display as what? Flex, it will not work because flex is not given for individual elements. It is given for container. That means flex you have to give for home. You have to give for UL flex, then it will keep side by side. So what is difference between flex and inline? Flex is for container and inline is for individual item. Sometimes two paragraphs are present, but they are not in a container. Then how to keep side by side? Inline. If they are in a container like section or main or somewhere, and you can keep as what? Flex. That is what you need to remember. So if there is a container, use flex. If there is no container, you have to use inline. That's very, very important. So next, another point is, another question is, now people have another doubt. What is difference between, what is the difference between inline and inline block? Difference between inline and inline block, because you have inline and inline block, both options are there. Inline and inline block. What is difference between inline and inline block? Have we used inline block? You remembered in Netflix design we use. In Netflix design, we haven't used text boxes and all. So actually, inline block is, inline keeps side by side. And important is, if elements are default inline, then you can define inline block to control their size. If elements are default inline, then you can define inline block to control their size. So inline keeps side by side, and if elements are default inline, side by side by default, if you want to control their size, then you have to use inline block, because sometimes inline content you can't control the size. Inline content you can't control the size. For example, I will show you how you cannot control the size. See, suppose there is a span home, there is another span some shop, and another span some about. I am writing here for a span, I am applying background color as some red and color as white, padding as 5 pixel, like this I given. You see, by default it will display like this. That's good. By default they are side by side. I want to adjust the width of them. Then because all width should be same, because usually if any content is lengthy, then one will be lengthy, another one short. All I want uniform size. So for every span I am giving width. Width is equal to 200 pixel I given, and you can see it's not working. That means for inline content, you cannot control the size. Even height, width, they can't work. Then what you have to do is, you have to define display as what? Inline block. Then the width can be adjusted. If width is adjusted, they can display correctly. That's the size. Especially for spans, you will face this problem. You can't change the width of spans. You cannot change the width of span, height of span. You can change width and height of divs. But for spans, you want to control the width and height, then you have to configure them as inline block. That's important. So inline block is very important to control their size. So syntactically, that is for span, you can define width 200 pixel like this. If you write like this, so width will not have any effect. Width is not going to have any effect. And if you have span, display as inline block. And now you define width as 200. So it can change the width. So width will apply for span. So that is important. Actually, inline block, both are side by side only. But sometimes when elements are default side by side and you cannot control their size, then you put inline block, then you can control their size. So that is about display related options you need to understand. And because already we learned in so many examples, no need to discuss. Later in different JavaScript points also we will use them. Okay. Now next, in CSS, you have CSS backgrounds. I think you learned already this. What are their background? You have a background color, you remembered. So you have what? Background image. We used all of them now. So we have background size. We have background what? Position. You remembered I told you background repeat also. I told you background attachment also. Attachment means you can keep it scrolling or fix. Already CSS backgrounds we learned. We know all these background concepts. In Netflix example itself, we tried. In different examples, I showed you backgrounds, how to design. So already we know CSS backgrounds, and almost important CSS text effects also you learned. What are the CSS text effects you already learned? CSS text effects is nothing but, what are text effects? Color. We learned color now, right? We have font size. We have font family. We have font size, font family, font weight. Am I right? Font style. Font style, font weight difference is, font weight is bold, font style is italics. Font family size. So weight is bold and style is italics. We know them. And we used text align, right? We used text align. We used text shadow. Am I right? We use a text indent. Remember text indent? Text indent means, I told you while learning paragraph, first line of paragraph with some space. Remember now? While working with paragraphs, I told you that paragraph first line should be with some space. How you can define that? By using text indent. While learning paragraph, we discussed that. Another one is letter spacing. This I told you already. Letter spacing and what? Word spacing. And line height. So line height, we have text transform. Text transform is nothing but uppercase, lowercase. So title case, you can apply. Capitalize, lowercase, like this you can add. Line height is nothing but space between lines in a paragraph. Space between lines in paragraph, space between words in paragraph, space between letters, first line indent. These all already text effects we use. You have seen these all letter space, word spacing, na? While working with paragraph, we discussed. I told you paragraphs, block quotes. When we designed paragraph block quotes, I showed you even drop cap also. Drop cap means first letter large, capital letter. How to create drop cap, we discussed that. So these are all the text effects. Actually, text transform is nothing but it can convert to uppercase letters. Every word, first letter, capital letter, that is capitalized. All letters to lowercase, you can apply. A fast overview here, I will define there. Suppose you are having some paragraph. So we are having some paragraph. Let me copy that. And here, I'm keeping some paragraph there. Okay, for this paragraph, we need to apply some styles. We are defining paragraph. And in that text align is what? Justify. I given text align justify, and you can see some justified. I want first line with some gap. Then what you can do? To give first line with some gap, text indent. Text indent 100 pixel. You see first line will be with some gap. We want some space between lines. We have to give line height. Line height 20 pixel, some space between lines. As 30 pixel, some space between lines. You want space between words. That means what we have to use? Word spacing. Word spacing as 2 pixel, 5 pixel. There will be some space between words. You want space between letters. Then we have to use letter spacing. 2 pixel letter spacing, some space between letters. All these are paragraph related. I want to convert all uppercase text transform as what? Uppercase. All are converted to uppercase. Uppercase, lowercase, capitalized, sentence case, you can easily convert. These are all text transform related options. That is a simple point here. I will give a basic syntax here. So for paragraph, we will define text align as what? Justify. Letter spacing, some 2 pixel. Word spacing, some 5 pixel. And line height, some 30 pixel. Text indent. So we have uppercase. Like this we can have. Text indent is some 100 pixel. So line height already I given. Yeah. Text transform. Text transform is suppose uppercase. Like this you can add all effects. These are all by using a text related. These are all CSS related text options. So to design a good simple user interface, these CSS options are enough. So as I already told you, in this class, we don't discuss any animations or anything. So because that is all UI related, separate concept. So here for you, for front-end development as back-end developer in Java.NET, these are enough. These are more than enough to handle them, right? We learned the all CSS basically required for that. Actually, CSS have several more things which generally complete full stack front-end developers learn. They are very lengthy, so much is there. But for basic back-end developers, the designing front-end, these are enough. Now you need to know one more important to go into dynamic designing. We have to learn about bootstrap components. How to create bootstrap components and work with them. Already we learned bootstrap CSS. I given bootstrap CSS. Bootstrap CSS is nothing but display, alignments, margins, padding, buttons, forms. We can easily design by using ready-made classes. But what is specialty about components is bootstrap component actually, a bootstrap component comprises of one is 3 basic things. One is design, styles, and functionality also. Bootstrap component usually contains 3 basic things. We have design, styles, and functionality. And remember, all are predefined. They are all are predefined. You have to just customize according to your requirements. You have to customize according to your requirements. All are predefined. Ready-made will be there. You need to just customize according to your requirements. What is the advantage is you can build effective or interactive user interface faster. You can build effective or interactive user interface faster, easy and fast. I will show you some important components that you need to know, because again Bootstrap have hundreds of components inside it, and some important daily used components in real world projects, what they use regularly. I will show you them. Let's see the components, how to handle them. And to use these components, you have to set up. To use the components, you must install the following libraries. Already you installed some, extra one more you have to install. You installed npm install, you installed Bootstrap na? Am I right? Right. And you have installed npm installed Bootstrap icons also. Bootstrap icons also you installed. One more extra you need, npm install. You have to install jQuery, because Bootstrap components use jQuery for functionality. But remember, you don't need to write any programming. jQuery will be internally working. You have to just attach some attributes. So jQuery is the one extra library you have to install in your project. Already you have installed Bootstrap and Bootstrap icons. Once you install this jQuery, now you can set up. Now what you have to do is, after installing, to use Bootstrap components, you have to link the following files. You have to link the following files. Actually, in a head section, here link Bootstrap and icons. No need to explain, because you already know. That's the reason I am just giving a comment. You know now already. That means how to link Bootstrap and icons, link, relation, style sheet, href, node modules and all. That already you know. But to use Bootstrap components in body section, actually Bootstrap people recommend to put in body section. You have to link script, source, node modules, in that jQuery, in that dist, in that jQuery.js. You have to link first this jQuery, and you need to link another script source, node modules, in that Bootstrap, in that dist, in that JS, and in that bootstrap.bundle.js. Bootstrap bundle.js. These two files you have to link. Then your page is ready to use Bootstrap components. Because Bootstrap components needs functionality, and functionality comes from these files. And remember, I already told you, when you are linking CSS files, there is no order. You can link in any order. But when you are linking script files, there is order. First, you have to link jQuery. After that, Bootstrap bundle. If you misplace, it will not work. That means you kept Bootstrap bundle above, jQuery below, it will not work. Because scripts always have order dependency. You know that without loading a main method, another method cannot work. First main method should load, after that other. Same hierarchies are important. So if you put this, now Bootstrap is ready to use. Let's see. I will open our project, and in the project terminal, let's go to the terminal. I will go to the project terminal, and here already Bootstrap icons are there. Bootstrap is there. npm install what? jQuery. This is only one extra thing, because Bootstrap already have Bootstrap JS file also installed. Okay, now once jQuery is there, let's see. I will go to the CSS example here. We have a home page. In this home page, we want to use those effects. So see what to do. First, in head section, you have to link relation is a style sheet. href is node modules. Bootstrap dist CSS. What is it? Bootstrap.css. Another link relation style sheet. href node modules. Bootstrap icons font icons.css. After that, in the body section, we need a script, and this script source, it is in node modules jQuery dist jQuery.js. Another file you have to link node modules. We have Bootstrap dist js bootstrap bundle.js. These are the files you have to link. Those path I given already to you. Now the page is ready to use the Bootstrap components. I will show you how to design different components. And when you are using Bootstrap, put a class container fluid. I already told you container classes. What are the classes available? I will show you different components now. Means some important components. That means don't worry here. Actually, components means what? Suppose I opened Amazon. In Amazon, when you open Amazon, in Amazon, you see there is a sliding banner now. There is a sliding banner. We can design this now. We can create this now without writing any logic. Code is not required. That means logic is not required. Design. We can create functionality also. It will work in the same way. Right? These are called components. We call them as components. Designing these components, we will see now how to create some important components. In the components, first one by one, we will see some components. First, we will see alerts. These are all very important in our JavaScript to use now. That's the reason you need to know. Actually, alert, it is an embedded message box. Message box displayed in page. It is an embedded message box displayed in page. It is displayed in page. You can control dynamically using JavaScript or jQuery attributes. You can control dynamically using JavaScript or jQuery attributes. So we have classes. Alert is a class. Alert, you have contextual. What is contextual means? Contextual means what? Primary, danger, success, warning. These are contextual. You have alert dismissible. alert dismissible, alert, alert contextual, and alert dismissible. These are basic. Alert title, alert subtitle, alert link. These are the classes. Alert is designed with these classes. Alert, alert, contextual, dismissible. So usually we design like this. For a div, you can apply these classes: alert, alert, so primary, something like this. Classes are separated with this. Alert, dismissible. Like this you can apply. For divs and such containers, you can use them. Actually, it is an embedded message box used in programming. Later, while working with JavaScript programming and all, we use such things. Right? Here, let's see now. I will show you the basic design here. I will put a heading alerts. See, I am creating a div. Actually, div have a heading as a record deleted. And here record successfully deleted from database, some message. And we have an anchor help. This is having some href as hash. And you see now, this is an ordinary div with some content. It looks like this. That is how it usually looks like. See the interesting part now. Just you apply the class alert, alert danger, because it is related to some delete, and alert dismissible. I am using alert dismissible. And you can see automatically the alert looks like this. That's good. That means automatically it is having design, styles, everything. I want titles. Usually heading is a title. We put as alert title something. This we will put a class called alert subtitle. Subtitle like this. Not necessary. For this class, we will use alert link so that they will be uniform in appearance, all same colors. Heading color, paragraph color, link color, uniform in appearance. And that is not the greatest thing about it. Suppose in this, I will put a button and I will put the button with a class btn close. Actually, there is a close button, btn close. A close button will come right side. And on this button click, you can make it close. We need to add a functionality for that. Actually, this will come when user clicks some delete option. That means later in JavaScript or in your Java, you will design some user interface. In that user interface, you will say delete record. After deleting record, a pop-up will come message and it will say record deleted. Then you say OK, confirm. Means the such confirmations inside the page are displayed by using alert. And important, currently it is not working. For that, we need to write a functionality. Actually, here very important is we need to know jQuery attributes We have jQuery attributes called data bs dismiss. Data bs dismiss. Actually, it is used to close a component on click, on button click. It is used to close a component on button click. In a component, not only alert, Bootstrap have lot of components. If you want to close those components, then you have to use this attribute data bs dismiss. Data bs dismiss, it is used to close a component. As of now, this is enough for this element. You see now what should happen is when user clicks this close button, then that alert should close. Simple, go to that close button and write data bs dismiss. Dismiss is equal to what is the component name? Component name is what? Alert. It uses the component name alert. That's it. You see now, I click on the close button, it will close. It is going to function. How to open again? That you have to write with JavaScript. JavaScript, jQuery, you need to write logic when it should open. As of now, it will open when you refresh. You can have multiple. You see now, I will use another div. In this class alert, I am using alert as success. I am using alert as dismissible. After that, in this alert, I have a heading. The heading is nothing but suppose record inserted, and I will put a paragraph, new record inserted into database. Like this, I am just giving. And here I am giving a button, not close, okay. Your wish, you can put any. For this OK button, I am giving class btn success. And not only that, data bs dismiss, it should dismiss alert. That's it. And you see now, we have two. Here I am not having a close button. I am having an OK button. When user clicks OK button, it will close. It is going to close. And I will refresh here. I click on this close button, it will close. You can have both. You can have close button, you can have OK button, cancel button. Well, both can work. For example, I am adding a button and a class as btn close, and this also will use data bs dismiss. Dismiss is what? Alert. And you have both options. You have a close as well as you have OK. You can click anywhere. That means you say this is the first one. You see, you click close, it will work. Or you click OK, it is going to work. Anything is fine. These are alerts. Actually, to design like this, it will take a lot of time. You need to write a lot of JavaScript. You need to write a lot of styles and effects. Now it is simple. You can easily manage. For that, you need to handle this. You need to know these classes and these attributes. So how data dismiss works? You have to define a button. Button have data bs dismiss is equal to component name. So actually component name can be alert, can be model, so can be any name. It can be alerts, it can be models, or it can be dismiss, collapse. So many will be there. This is a simple alert component. It's a alert component. So I will use this example here. This is an example for alert. Let me copy this. This is an alert. I will copy this example just for your understanding sake. What happens is sometimes in websites, you don't want like this. We want a pop-up. We don't want like this. We need a pop-up. It should display on screen pop-up. So instead of alerts, you can try pop-ups, and they are called as, we call them as model. We have alerts and we have models. We have models. A model is nothing but, so it is a dialog box that pops up in page. What is alert is embedded. Alert is embedded into the page, but model is a pop-up. But to design model, lot of classes are required. Actually, what are the classes of models? So model have classes like, we have model, we have model dialog, we have model dialog centered, model dialog scrollable. So we have model full screen, you have model container, model header, model body, and model footer. These are the sections of a model. To design a good model, you need this. You can add effects like fade. Fade is an animation effect. That is optional. So you can have fade, which is an optional effect. But usually fade is good. These are models. Alerts, models are very common in website designing. You want to show any confirmation messages, you can show through alerts or you can show through model. How a model looks like, I will show you. Remember, in every page, all the 4 files linking is compulsory. 2 CSS files and the 2 JavaScript files, they are compulsory. Let's see how these models work. You will understand that here. Actually, one of the main point is model is a dialog which is hidden by default. So you have to open model by using jQuery attributes. And for that, we have jQuery attributes. We have attributes, data BS toggle, and data BS target. Toggle, it requires component name, and target, it requires the component ID. You need component name and component ID. Data BS toggle and data BS target. So requires component name and requires component ID. Let's see how the model looks like here. So these models also applied for, they are also applied to a div. To a div you attach these models and all. And as I said, by default they are hidden. We need to open them using some button clicks and all. For that you need these options. Let's see here one simple one. Let's create a page, new page by name models.html, and make sure that scripts and links are already there. Okay. And in the body section, what I am doing here is just I will keep a button class btn and btn primary, margin top 3, and I say login. We just have a login button here. Let's open this and see. Bootstrap related everything is linked. We have a login, and when user clicks login, a login should pop up. It should display on screen. It's simple now. What you do is here we create a div and make it as class model. We keep it as model. In a page, there can be several models, one for login, one for register, one for details, one for add. Then every model needs an ID. ID for this model is login. You can give a unique ID for that. Okay. Now inside the model, first you need to create a model dialog. Inside the model dialog, you need 3 sections. You have to create another container. This is model content. Order is important. First you will have a model, in that model dialog, in the dialog content. Content have 3 sections. One section is header, that is model header. Another section is body. This is model body. Another section is footer. We will apply model footer. These are the 3 sections. In those 3 sections, your wish, you can keep anything. In this section, I will keep user login, and I will put some span, class bi person fill, something. And here I will put a button. This will be class btn close. On this button click, model should close. That means data bs what? Dismiss. Dismiss. Which one to dismiss? Model. Okay. Now in the body section, we will design a form. In this form, we will have div, spans, anything you can give. I will simply use a data list, data term, username, data definition, input type is text. And for this, we will put form control. We know the CSS classes for them. And I will add another password. And I will keep input type is equal to password and class form control. And that is enough in the body. In the footer, I will keep 2 buttons. One is btn primary. This is login. Button is login. Another button we will keep class btn and btn danger. And we will put as what? Cancel. You see, you designed a model, but that model is not going to display in the page. When it should display, when user clicks on login button. So for login button, this is login button, data bs toggle. Toggle indicates the, I given there, toggle indicates the component name. Which component? Our component is what? Model. And data bs target. Data bs target. Target is ID. What is our model ID? Login. IDs are accessed with hash. Hash what? Login. And you will see that when I click on login, it will pop up. It will pop up a window like this. That's a login. colors, effects, whatever you want, you can apply in the background. That means you see here, and I click on close, it is closing. And it is very fast, little bit slow we will keep. Just for model, you have to add fade. You add fade, then you will see when I click login, it will slowly slide. And I click on close, then it will close. And not only close, I want to do that on cancel also. You can do it. What to do? For cancel button also, you can write data BS dismiss. Dismiss what? Model. That means now I click on login and I click on cancel, it will cancel. And important, when you are displaying model, if I want this model with some colors effects, you can add. That means at the top you see header. In the header I am using BG primary, text white. You can see the background primary and text white. It looks like this. You can add your whatever effects you want. And important here is you want it center screen, then model dialog. Where is dialog? This is dialog. You can put model dialog centered. Model dialog centered means if I click, it will be center screen. You can make it full screen also. Just you use model full screen. Then when user clicks on it, it will open full screen. It will open full screen. So you can put centered, full screen, anything. Model centered, dialog centered. And you can see it will open in center screen. You can have multiple models. Many number of models you can have. For example, this is just concept of login. I will use another button here. I will use another button, class BTN and BTN success. And for this button also margin top 3. And here I will give as some more details, suppose details. And when user clicks on this details, some product details should open. A product detail should pop up, right? So you design another model. Make sure that you are not designing anything inside this. So that means after this model is finished, above or below anywhere, you create another model. This is class. What is it? Model. Model have a fade. Model have an ID. ID is what? Details. And according to the rules, model should start with a model dialog. Inside model dialog, it should contain model container content. Inside model content unit, so model header. In the header, I will keep heading as I say Realme. So C22, something like this. And that is header. And we will put a button, class what? BTN close. And the data BS dismiss, it should dismiss what? Model. After that, we will have another div class. What is it? Model body. In the model body, I want to arrange in rows and columns. You learnt already div. We will put class row. I showed you na. And div, we will put class as call. In this, I have an image source. So dot public images, and here realme.jpg. So width is 200, height is 300 something. And in another column, so div class call. And here I defined some heading, some price, ampersand hash. Yeah. Ampersand hash 8377 semicolon some 10,999, something like this I define. Now only header and body are there. It's not necessary to keep everything. It depends on your requirement. Now when this model should open, it should open when the second button is clicked. So for this button, you have to write two attributes. What is it? Data BS toggle. This also model. Data BS target. Target is hash what? Details. And you can see that it is going to display the details pop up here. You can add anything. I just added only few details. Right? This is one model and this is another model, a login. Right? It depends on your requirement. You can configure any number. You can even just display error messages, invalid. Please check this. These are very important in dynamic implementations and that you can simply achieve by using ready-made Bootstrap, right? So these attributes, how you define is like this. You define the attribute for button data BS toggle. It's like model. And data BS target. Target is like some hash, some details or something. Like this you configure. So we have the alerts, we have the models, which are very commonly seen in websites. So here, another option is, this is an example for this. Copy that, right? This is the example for a model. So we have two components, alerts, another one model. Another important component means basically seen components. You have badge. Badge is very simple. It is a separator used in containers. Actually, badge have class. So classes you can apply dot badge. You can use BG contextual and you can use text contextual. Background color, text colors. Badge have only one important class, that is badge. These are very simple and commonly seen things in websites. Actually, badges, how you define, suppose you see, we are using a badge. I will take a new file, badge.html. Yeah. Actually, this doesn't have any functionality. That is just only basic design. That means for that you don't need any JavaScript, but I'm just keeping those files in all. Usually what happens, suppose you have a button and a class BTN primary and margin top 3, and we have subscribe and we have a span and class BI and BI some bell. So bell fill. Okay. And usually this is inside a span. Again, inside the span, you have a span. Now actually subscribe, and this looks like this. Let's run this. This is an option. And I want to keep that bell icon separated. Then what you do usually, that span we can apply as badge, and we can apply BG danger, and we can apply text white. We can apply rounded what? Rounded as circle. Rounded classes already are given to you. Rounded circle, and it will display like this. We can just keep the badges separated with the ordinary contents, right? If you want to keep separated, then you can define like this. Rounded circle. So, or you can use, yeah, I'm just using bell, and you see it display like this. So bell fill, you can use a rounded pill. Instead of circle, we have pill, and it will display like this. That depends on how you want to configure. These are separators. I already showed you, right? Positioning is also important. Sometimes you can keep the position in different places. I will show the positioning. I told you last session, relative position. We designed such things, right? We can keep right side corner or anywhere, but badge will allow to keep it separate. Badge will allow to keep it separate with some colors and effects. That is a simple thing actually. So this is the concept of badge. Syntactically, just we use for a span class as badge. And BG, some danger, some text white like this. We add some effects for the content we have. Suppose some number 4 or 3 like this. Badges example also I will give. That is the badge. And every component will not have any functionality. Functionality is only for few, right? And important, already we learned, you remember card. Now card ready-made classes are there. That means you don't need to design lengthy. Simply you can create, because for cards they have ready-made classes, right? That means you see for cards, they have classes like card header, card body, card footer. So card title, card subtitle, and we have like card image top, card image top, card image bottom, like this, card image overlay. So many ready-made classes for cards. So if you want to design cards, this time it is very easy for creating cards. Ready-made effects are present. You just apply these classes. Actually, earlier what we done, we written these type of classes manually and applied effects, border, width, colors and all. Now you can simply configure them. So for example, suppose how you create the cards. Now designing of cards will be very easy for us. Just apply these classes and you will get them. Let's see one simple. Suppose I want to create some cards and I'm using just div. Inside the div, I'm adding another div. This div is class card. And for this card, I will give margin 2, padding 2. And every card will have some style. Every card has style. Some width of card is some 200 pixel. Inside the card, we are having a div. So class is card header. In the header, I'm just having an image. So image source is equal to public images, some fashion1.jpg. And here, height of that image I given as 200 like this. We are configuring the image height and displaying. Now, after that, I will apply a class called card image top. Okay, that is card header. After this, we will keep another div. In that, we will say class card body. Card body is having a heading like women's fashion. Women's fashion. Suppose a paragraph, some 50% off something. And below this, we are having a card footer. card footer, and here we have a button, and the button class btn info, and in this button we have span class bi cart is shopping cart, cart 4 like I am giving, and here I am using like shop. Okay, and this button is having W100, that means width 100. You see, usually a card looks like this. Ready-made classes we applied. A ready-made class we applied. Border, padding, everything auto-adjusted for that. We don't need to do anything. I'm just using the width as 250 pixel, and it looks like this. And suppose, see now, I will copy this card. Card have card header, card body, footer. This is one card. I will copy another card, and image is fashion 2. And we defined here as what? Men's fashion. And that's it. And one more card. Another card is fashion 3. And it is a PNG here. We are defining simply what? Kids. And you see, all the cards will be one below another. But I want all the cards one beside another. They are all kept in one container. Just apply class D what? Flex. Display flex. And automatically they are side by side. So to create such cards, we have to manually apply styles earlier. But now you don't need to manually apply styles. You ready-made have card like class. You just apply those class. For header, card header. For body, card body. And automatically card designs will be easy. So these are ready-made classes for cards. You can design thus by using card option. I hope you understood. Right. Now, some more components are there that we will see tomorrow. And tomorrow we will see carousels, sliding banners, and navigation bars, how they create. So then we can start working with JavaScript now after understanding those two. Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue. Right.